So, the state of California has introduced a new gun control bill that seeks to ban home building of firearms and also 3D printing. So, let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think the state of California needs to stop violating our rights to keep and bear arms, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense and liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. Also, I want to thank another major supporter of this channel, which is Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee has amazing coffee, and also they are huge Second Amendment supporters. They actually use a lot of their proceeds and donate to various 2A organizations. So great coffee, amazing company that actually supports the Second Amendment. And if you guys are interested, you can use the links down in the details section. And if you use the code ARMSCHOLAR, you can get 10% off of your order. So like I said in the intro, California has introduced a new gun control bill, which seeks to make it so that citizens of the state of California can no longer use 3D printers to make various items without a license. And also the bill will require anyone who manufactures more than 3 firearms in a single year will also have to have a license. The bill we will be talking about is AB 2156, introduced by Assemblymember Wicks. This bill directly attacks your right to actually practice your right to keep and bear arms within your home. So let's take a look at what this bill actually states. This bill states, existing federal law requires a manufacturer of firearms to be licensed by the federal government. Existing state law requires any federally licensed firearms manufacturer that produces 50 or more firearms in the state in a calendar year to also be licensed as a manufacturer by the state. A violation of this requirement is punishable as a misdemeanor. This bill would expand this prohibition to prohibit any person, regardless of federal licensure, from manufacturing firearms in the state without being licensed by the state. This bill would also decrease the manufacturing threshold requiring state licensure from 50 or more firearms in a calendar year to 4 or more firearms in a calendar year. The bill would also prohibit any person, unless licensed as a firearm manufacturer, from manufacturing any firearm, precursor part, or magazine by means of 3D printer as defined. Now that's the general goal of this bill. Now how does it actually go about doing this? Well, it's going to amend the language in Penal Code 29010 so that it reads, a person, firm, or corporation shall not manufacture more than 3 firearms within the state in a calendar year unless that person, firm, or corporation is licensed pursuant to Chapter 2, commencing with Section 29030. So one question that might pop up into your mind after hearing that is, what does the state of California define manufacturing to mean for this specific section? Well, under California Penal Code Section 29180 subsection A, it states, for purposes of this chapter, manufacturing or assembling a firearm means to fabricate or construct a firearm, or to fit together the component parts of a firearm to construct a firearm. So essentially, the state of California could read this manufacturing definition so that a private person like you or me who is building out AR-15s, AR-15 lower receivers, building out any other firearm, and we do that more than 3 times a year, well, all of a sudden they're saying we are now required to have a license with the federal government and a license with the state of California. And if we don't do that, if we manufacture or essentially build more than 3 firearms in a single year, and we don't have this license, well, all of a sudden the state of California can charge us with a misdemeanor. So what are actually the licensing requirements for someone who is a manufacturer in the state of California? Well, under Penal Code Section 29050, it states A, the Department of Justice shall accept applicants for and shall grant licenses permitting the manufacture of firearms within this state. B, no license shall be granted by the department unless and until the applicant presents proof that the applicant has all of the following. 1, a valid license to manufacture firearms pursuant to Chapter 44, commencing with Section 291 of the Title 18 of the U.S. Code, which is your FFL license, I believe. 2, any regulatory or business license required by local government, so you have to meet any licensing requirements that your local government might have. 3, a valid seller's permit or resale certificate issued by the State Board of Equalization, if applicable. 4, a certificate of eligibility issued by the Department of Justice pursuant to Section 26710. C, a license granted by the department shall be provided for no more than 1 year from the date of issuance and shall be in the form described by the Attorney General. And D, the department shall inform applicants who are denied licenses of the reasons for the denial in writing. So those are kind of the base requirements. That's some of the language. That's not everything. There's a lot more that goes into that. But for the purposes of this video, just understand that the goal of this bill is to make it almost next to impossible for everyone or any everyday gun-loving resident in California to be able to build firearms in their own homes. This is something that is reaching directly into your homes and trying to prevent you from actually exercising your Second Amendment rights. This bill then also goes on to say in subsection B or subpart B that a person, firm, or corporation shall not use a three-dimensional printer to manufacture any firearm, including a frame or receiver, any firearm precursor part, or any magazine, unless that person, firm, or corporation is licensed pursuant to that same chapter. And used in this section, three-dimensional printer means a computer-aided manufacturing device capable of producing a three-dimensional object from a three-dimensional digital model through an additive manufacturing process that involves the layering of two-dimensional cross-sections formed of a resin or similar material that are fused together to form a three-dimensional object. So essentially they're just describing 3D printers. So in this bill, they also go after modern techniques by expressly saying that if you use a 3D printer to make any frame, lower receiver, or magazine, you will also have to have a license. This portion of the bill is aimed at banning 3D printing in the state of California. This is just another step from the state of California to attack our fundamental rights to keep and bear arms. The ability for citizens to be able to make and build their own firearms in the privacy of their own homes is a long-standing tradition and is clearly supported by our own country's history. As of right now, this bill has just been introduced, so please contact your local representatives and let them know that you do not agree with what this bill is trying to do. Let's stop this before it's actually passed, because once this actually passed, the whole goal and aim of this is to prevent us from being able to build our own firearms within our homes and also to 3D print. However, if a bill like this passes, which bans home building and 3D printing, it will no doubt be challenged in court. Hopefully by that time, if this ever actually gets passed into law and maybe a lawsuit pops up challenging it, hopefully by that time, the Supreme Court will actually have issued their decision in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association case, and that will actually provide additional language to strike down these types of bills. But as of right now, we still have time to stop this, and we definitely don't want a bill like this to be in place in the state of California. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All these things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet, and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of 2A news. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could have ever thought and could ever do on my own. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. If you don't have a comment in mind, just comment down below that you're coming to fuel the algorithm, and that really does help the channel. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and never forget this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will maintain by armed scholars.